greatest ever. And I used to say, stop, I was there. That wasn't we were about to cut most of those guys. They were about to get let go until Emmett came and everything changed when he came. There are certain players that blows up everything and changes everything. I watched the Terrence Flaglers, other guys run behind that line, and nothing happened. Emmett got that line, and magic happened. I'm saying to you, I'm extrapolating from that story of Emmett, bring current to this story of Michael Parsons. There is something different when that certain dude walk on the football field. That's why he's earned the right, and he's that dude.
And, Michael, I remind you of that game at the end of the 1992 season when you had a big lead on Mike Ditka's Chicago Bears at home. Remember, you'd already clinched the playoffs?
Oh, yeah.
Remember what happened?
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson pulls out Michael, Troy, and Emmett, the triplets, and they go sit on the bench. And I believe you took your pads off, as I recall. You remember this?
It was, right? Yeah, I do remember.
And Curvin Richards fumbles, and all of a sudden Jimmy goes berserk, and the game's it's over. And he makes Troy, Emmett, and Michael put their pads back on and go back in the football game just to send a message to the team. I won't accept this. We're going to play it to the final gun.
Yeah, and that speaks to...
You know what's so funny? Skip, and it was so funny, even after that, right? We walking in after the game, I said, Coach, he wanted to send that message. We were up, everything was going great, everybody's too happy, and you tend to slack off. So when after Curvin Richards, I went to Coach, I said, Coach, come on, man, we're in a good mood. Let's go into the playoffs feeling good. We don't need to make that. Because he warned Curvin Richards in the huddle, I'm putting you back in the game. If you fumble again, I'm cutting you on the spot in the huddle. I was like, all right, Coach, he went in the game. The dude fumbled. We were all looking at each other like, oh, God. So I went to Coach. I said, Coach, after the game, I said, don't do it. We good. Everybody's excited. Let's get into the season. He said, you're right, Michael. You're right. That morning, about 7 a.m., he called me. He said, Mike, I said, hello, Coach, what's up? He said, hey, listen, about what we talked about last night. I lied. I cut him. I hung up the phone, he cut the man on the spot.
That's the backup running back.
He just wanted to send a message.
No backup going into the playoffs.
He was going to get paid. He was going to get paid. He was going to get a ring. He just said him fumbling sent a bad message. He had to go.
I mean, see, I like coaches like that, though, but that's just me.
I got it. But Brian Daboll was arguing on Monday, I needed him to find some rhythm because he had none. I wanted to leave him in. So he left him in until about 3 minutes were left.
You should.
And again, I didn't have a big problem with it because you are so out of sync. You are destroyed psychologically. You need to have something good happen. So he leaves him in. It's 4th and 14. He's throwing the football from his 32-yard line and 3 minutes or less.
In my opinion, all great coaches and good coaches do exactly what Michael described about bringing guys out of the game, and then as soon as something goes wrong, you get your butts back in. I watched Tom Brady down in Miami. I forgot who it was who came in, who threw a pick to the Dolphins, and they was up by 40-something. Belichick said, man, if you don't get back in this game. And so I'm used to seeing that. I love that. And when you talk about Mike McCarthy, you were not very happy with what he was doing with the team. You give him some run. And then because if you empty the bench, and all of a sudden, they scored 2 unanswered touchdowns.
Yeah.
It does not, that the morale goes down.
It feels wrong.
It makes everything flat.
Yeah.
That's why you do
Skip,
it.
can I ask you this, Skip?
Yeah.
Let me ask you this too, Skip. When you say you're not happy with Mike McCarthy, we talked about this in the preamble running up to the season. We talked about what is Mike McCarthy bringing? And we talked about an offensive coordinator who Kellen Moore wants to throw the ball all over the field so he can get an opportunity at a head coaching job. What we watched the other day was the complimentary football. He knew his defense was playing great. He was getting great play out of special teams. Why put this ball all through the air and allow Dak to possibly throw an interception? And we're talking about that as opposed to now, well, what a great win. You see what I mean? An interception would have taken away all this talk about what a great win. We've only would have been focused on Dak Prescott. So he said, pull back these horses on offense. We don't need this. We got defense and special teams working. All 3 components working together.
Okay, I got it. My biggest picture point about Micah, and Michael and I have discussed this, I need him to take a giant step this year. I need to see him take over the locker room. I need to see him become our Derek Brooks, our Ray Lewis. You had Derek, obviously, in 2002, and you've told me he was the strongest voice in the locker room, right?
Yeah, and Micah is getting there. This is only his third year. He's getting there. You can just from the podcast standpoint alone, his voice, talking about Brock Purdy, talking about the New York Giants, he's starting to develop some sort of locker room leadership presence. You can tell.
It's a persona of like
absolutely.
I am him.
We'll see.
Right?
Eventually, you get there. You don't. Everybody don't come into the league with that bravado.
But you have to continue to back it up on the field. I've been
Absolutely.
doing this for a long time, and to the point about
Skip.
Jeremy Shockey,
Yes, you do, Skip.
You just have to keep backing it up to where you walk or run your talk until you finally, till the world says, "I'm good with you." You know, you can say whatever you want to say. I've seen too many cases of these people. The target gets so big on your back, you can't live up to the target.
But Skip, I'm gonna let you rest. He's fine.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about him digressing.
Okay, but I said this last year in the last 6 games, he disappeared.
He was in his second season of football in the National Football League, hadn't played prior to his rookie season for a whole year.
He had not.
He's fine.
Okay, so you got him as Defensive Player of the Year?
I got him as Defensive Player of the Year.
If you were right,
but
I'm real good.
But Skip, but were you right too, Skip? You're right in this sense. We'll see what kind of leader he is, because we'll see if those guys hunt with him. What he's doing is calling all his troops. Let's hunt. When he's talking about guys like this and talking about you better pull guys out because we coming. Now, if they continue to hunt like that, then you say, oh, I guess he is a leader in that locker room. If they don't, then you're right. He's doing it too early, and it's not.
If you have a response to what we just discussed, you can reach us at #UndisputedLive. But up next, man, oh man, we dived into the latest controversial report. Was partners in a Miami business venture with LeBron's wife, Savannah. The other was a very important member of LeBron's inner circle, his business manager and his longtime friend, Randy Mims. Yet ESPN was told by federal authorities that they found nothing to suggest Alexander or Mims provided PEDs to any athletes, obviously including LeBron. The lead investigator said there was never any indication that LeBron did anything wrong. The investigation concluded that Randy Mims purchased testosterone and metabolism-boosting injections for just personal use, presumably to aid in his weight loss. Mims was never charged with any crime, targeted in any investigation. Alexander also trained LeBron's wife, but investigators said they found no evidence Alexander provided any supplements to her or to LeBron. So, Keyshawn, what's your reaction to all of the above?
Well, I feel, number one, I feel bad for LeBron and his family. Okay, his wife, Savannah, I feel bad for them because even though nothing was found and investigators cleared their names of any wrongdoing whatsoever, their name is in the report. In the report.
Yep.
And you know, and I know how society is and how people think. The fact that your name is in something, people start to try and poke holes in stuff. And it's unfortunate because clearly nothing was found. Yeah, his business manager worked with this individual. His trainer worked with this individual. Had nothing to do with him, but birds of a feather flock together in people's minds.
Yeah.
And people will try and correlate the two. Just the world we live in, the internet, the social media, they're going to do all that. And it's unfortunate that he will probably have to go through this and for some period of time where people are going to try to link him regardless.